Let's talk about your career and some of the adversity you faced. You've spent more than 30 years coaching at the college and professional levels. In your 20s, you hustled from job to job, moving up the ladder in the NFL and in college. You became a star as the Jets' defensive coordinator in the early 90s, and you were one of the youngest head coaches when you took over the Jets in 1994. Your team goes 6-10, and you're fired after one season. Did you suspect your job was in jeopardy, and can you tell us about that day you were released?
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. Jeez. How was it getting fired? No, it's a pretty cool story. I'm going to give you a little bit more than you asked for here. We were playing the Miami Dolphins in the 12th week of the season. We were 6-5 at the time. And at the time, we were playing for first place in the AFC East. And some of you will remember the game when Dan Marino fakes the spike and throws the touchdown pass. That was my boys. We lost that. Boomer Esiason was our quarterback, and Boomer got a little crazy in the second half. We were ahead and going great, and we made a couple big mistakes, and they came back and they win the game in dramatic fashion. Dan likes to think of it as historic fashion whenever he's with me. It was a bunch of crap, to tell you the truth. But and we went on and we lost our the next 4 games as well, and so we go 6-10. There was probably the Wednesday after the season was over. We had a lot of huge decisions to make. We had a very old team, and a veteran football team, and some tremendous issues were at hand. Boomer Esiason, Ronnie Lott, Leonard Marshall, some great old NFL All-Pro guys were going to have to be dealt with, whether to let them go and all that kind of some really tough issues. And so we were trying to iron it out and figure it out at the time. And late in the afternoon of that Wednesday, I was told that Leon Hess was coming to the office. And I had never talked to him other than shake his hands in the locker room, or he never talked to me when I was hired. It was never part of the deal at all. And this was a guy who's about 77 or 8 years old at the time, an extraordinary billionaire in the sludge oil business. And sorry.
Freudian slip.
Yeah, and so I'm asked to come into to the general manager's office, and I look across at Dick Steinberg, the general manager, and he's like this. He's got his head down. And I felt there's a little energy shift coming here. I could feel it. And there was a chair there for me and Leon, and he said, "Well, Pete, a man in your position in the business world would resign, but I know that you won't do that, so we're going to have to let you go," just like that. And I looked at him, and I thought I was staring at the devil. I mean, a craggy old son of a gun, And I thought I was looking right in the eyes of the devil. He was looking right at me, in his weary old man's eyes, And I thought to myself, I got a 5-year contract. This is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And you think that's a joke, but that's exactly what I thought. And there was no way, and this will lead to your next question about the Patriots as well. There was no way that I was going to sanction that decision and sanction his ability to understand what I could be as a head coach and what I had to offer. He was never around me. He didn't have any idea. He didn't know me at all. And the point I want to make to you, in that situation, there hadn't been enough time. There had been one season. We'd faltered at the end of the year. We were in first place at the midpoint of the year, and we fell off and didn't finish it. Absolutely didn't get it done. But so I didn't buy into it. I wasn't going to be positioned and labeled by this decision, but because this guy thought that I needed to go. He didn't want me hired, is what happened, and he demoted the general manager, and a couple things that happened in the deal. I hired a new coach that went 1-15 the next year, and so that was really my clear thought. And I've always been, I always find myself when things get really nasty or hard or whatever, I'm always looking for the very next thing that's going to turn good. And I couldn't be more clear, but that was the thought that went through. This is the chance of a lifetime, And so that's how that one happened.
Great. Well, then you get the call.
You guys buying that? That is what happened.